what the actual fuckery is this? That was my commentary.
Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg Podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our savage take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg Podcast.
Whoa, Rose, that was extremely fast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg Podcast. My name is Rose.
I felt like I was watching you on two times just then. When you're like, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the SaVeg Podcast. My name is Rose, and I'll be your co-host.
You know what the issue is? I think it is because I watched it on like 2 times or 1.5 times. So I'm used to people talking very quickly.
Right. So
So maybe that's what it is. Do you think I talk fast in general?
I think we both do.
I don't think you talk that fast.
Well, you talk to my parents.
You just talk a lot.
You know what's so funny? I don't think I talk that much.
Daniel, are you prepping for your comedy special?
I do.
Jesus.
I don't. I. You know what? It's so funny because Rosa said this to me for years. Like you're a talker, and I think it's like a narrative that like it's not true. You know, I'm just.
Every person that I've introduced Daniel to, love him. Okay, but they will always say to me, "Damn, that Daniel's a talker."
God damn. I mean,
Daniel, I think you should embrace it.
Takes one to know
hey,
one.
I am a talker.
Yeah.
I will fully agree. And when people meet us in person, they're like, holy shit, these two can talk forever. And it's true.
It is true.
There's absolutely no denying this.
I don't know how we can talk so much.
We just talk for hours, and sometimes we just like beat a dead horse. Like we are just talking about the same shit over and over again. And we can do it for hours.
Yeah, we can. Get me started on capitalism and all this. It's like, boom. Yeah. I'll go down that rabbit hole quite quickly.
Anyway, guys.
Yes.
This week, we are doing Am I the Asshole once again because you guys love it. And we need to pre-record.
We need to pre-record. I'm going to be away next week.
Daniel's going away.
You know?
He's going to be enjoying his time away from me.
Yep. We need a break.
He needs a break from me.
So. No, I'm going to die. Phoenix is supposed to be 45 degrees.
You'll be inside all day.
Yeah, true.
You'll be fine.
But it's like, it's the moments I have to go outside. Like, because I was like thinking, I'm like, I like warm weather up to like low 30s, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck, I don't even remember the last time I've been somewhere that was 45 degrees.
45 degrees. Yeah. That's tough.
Because even when we were in Thailand, to be fair, when we went to Thailand and Bali, the weather was like amazing. It was like perfect weather. I remember Thailand though, and it wasn't that it was actually that, it was hot. It was like 32 to 35 degrees. The issue with Thailand is because of the humidity, it makes it like 1,000 times hotter.
It's so hot.
Like it was to the point where I was like, I am going to die in this country. Like I was
so sweaty.
Literally, there was a moment where we went to this like really cool, and don't get me wrong, the tour was amazing.
Thailand's amazing.
It was so cool. The food was incredible. I remember, I'll never forget this. This moment is etched into my mind. We were in this like artisan village thing that was like by the water, so we were like walking around, and I think you were sat with some people. I was
dying,
and literally I looked over and like Rose is dripping in sweat, I'm dripping in sweat. It was so fucking hot. And I remember I walked up into this like little bookstore, and I was talking to some of the people that were working there, and I was like, what is going? They're like, it is even too hot for us right now. She's like, we're like, and they were sweating as well. I was like, I'm gonna die here.
I know, it was so hot. I can't. But yeah, Bali was like perfect.
Yeah. Oh, because Bali was like hot, but also because you're by the ocean, I feel like, well, I guess Bangkok's by the ocean too, but you just had a breeze going all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't as hot. It wasn't as humid.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. So the reason I brought it up is Phoenix is like a desert, right? So it's like, it will be 45 degrees. It's going to be still hot, but it's not humid.
It's not going to be as hot, I feel like. But speaking of Bali, guys, I'm doing a trip to Bali.
Oh, goddamn.
If you want to come with me to Bali this year, did I send you the links, Daniel? To add to the...
I don't think you did.
I'm pretty sure I did.
You didn't.
Please ask for them again. I will send it to you. I'm hosting 3 trips, actually. I'm doing Bali this year in October. I'm doing Turkey and Greece in September. So if you want to sign up for a vegan food tour in any of these places, come sign up. Maybe Daniel will come with me to one of them. I don't know.
Damn, maybe I will. Who knows?
Who knows? So yeah, sign up.
Yeah.
Come with me. Let's go to Bali. Let's go to Greece. Let's go to Turkey. Let's do it.
They're a
all.
lot of fun, guys. Honestly, they're a really
It's
good
gonna
time.
be so fun.
Yeah, they're jam packed, but it's good times.
Anyway, guys, so this week we are doing Am I the Asshole once again? So, guys, first of all, make sure you check out our Patreon. Did we mention it already?
You have not.
Patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. You get every episode a week earlier than everybody else, ad-free content, and you get a bonus episode every single month.
Goddamn.
So you can join using the link below.
Yep.
And we're gonna just jump into our Am I the Asshole?
Am I the asshole? And I'm gonna go
Yeah,
first.
you're gonna start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Am I the asshole for kicking my niece out because of what she said about my wife? Our niece is 19 years old. Her parents are both deadbeats, so she was practically raised by everyone else in the family. Last year, she got accepted in the best, most expensive college in our country, and me and my siblings told her that she doesn't have to worry about the money we're all going to pay. What's really nice. The problem is that she is very rude, and she also has a habit of eavesdropping, so she knows everything about everyone in the family. A few days ago, she had a fight with everyone. It was about her being jealous of our kids because apparently we don't treat them equally, even though we are spending thousands of dollars a year just for her college, and she has never had to work for a second in her life because we pay for everything else as well, but nothing is good enough for her. She kept yelling at us, and finally I told her, if she says one more word, we will stop paying for her college. She turned to me and said, "Fuck you." I said, "That's it. No one is paying for your college anymore." And that's when things went wrong. She started to inform everybody about all our secrets, things we never wanted our family to know. When she yelled to everyone that my wife is a whore.
Oh!
She slept with a couple of guys for money before we got married because she needed the money very bad. I decided I've had enough. I kicked her out and told her to never return. Now my sister has been crying because apparently niece isn't answering her calls, and she's worried something could happen to her because she's nowhere else to go. And it's clear that both my niece and sister think I was an asshole for overreacting.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. I feel like this is another one of those stories where it's like, you're not the asshole. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get it. She was dealt a shit hand. Her parents were both deadbeats. That's not great. She obviously had a little bit of had to deal with that. But at the same time, she was lucky and fortunate that she had a family that was supportive of her. I'm telling you right now, if I was supporting my brother's daughter to go to university, an expensive university, and all of us are chipping in, and she is treating me with such disrespect.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the cash flow is stopping.
Exactly.
You're on your own. You treat people with disrespect like that, you do not get help. I'm sorry, You just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like maybe she's been enabled because people felt bad, which is understandable. But at the same time, it's like, you can't talk about people like this, especially your family, especially your uncle or whatever that's, supporting you
and helping you.
So yeah.
You're just, I honestly, this stuff pisses me off because how ungrateful are you? You
Yeah.
know, you obviously you worked hard. You got accepted into a university, a really good college, and your family is being so kind to be like, you know what? We don't want you to stress about the money. We want you to have an opportunity that you might not have been able to have because your parents are deadbeats.
Yeah.
And we're going to help you out with that. And then you turn around and you're just fucking rude to everybody.
Oh God, I think she needs major therapy.
Yeah. This is not okay.
It's not okay.
But
yeah, I think she has a lot of trauma because she's probably like I understand, I don't know what it's like to have, deadbeat parents that don't take care of you, and then you have to be raised by your uncle. And I get that you probably feel like shit because your uncle's kids get proper parents, and you don't get proper parents.
Yeah.
So I understand the kind of anger, but to take it out on the uncle, it's just I don't know.
It's crazy. So someone put here, there's a lot of info the original poster has dropped in comments that wasn't included in the post that makes me think they aren't being a truly reliable narrator.
Ooh,
this
the
is
drama.
I know, there's going to be some drama. There's going to be some tea here, guys. And this is something we have to remember whenever we read these Am I the Asshole?
Yes.
It's only from one side of the story, right?
Exactly.
So it's very jaded because if you're going to write something, you're going to kind of taint it to make you look better.
Yes.
Anyway, so given how the original poster talked about the therapy session they got for the niece when she was 10 and then refused to do more because she didn't talk the first time, I really question how well the niece's needs were provided for. Original poster considered it a waste to pay for any more therapy since she didn't talk the one time. I'm not confident that the niece was treated equally to the other children. It sounds like she was abandoned by her parents at an age where she would know what's going on and then was passed around by family members like a hot potato. providing a child their physical needs or wants to keep them alive isn't enough. The niece needed therapy and security. She needed to know that no matter what, she was loved and wouldn't be abandoned. It doesn't sound like she was ever given that. The ultimatum of the original poster was probably just another sign to the niece that she was less than. Sure, the niece shouldn't have lashed out, but I'm guessing that given the original poster has said that she has never been given the tools or experience to better handle the situation.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. That's the thing. It's like, it's so tough to be like, oh, you're the asshole because, like, as in the niece is the asshole because it's like she's 19, she's clearly had childhood trauma, and the fact that she's being passed around, she doesn't have proper parental figures, and the people that are taking care of her, like, yes, maybe they did do a favor, like they didn't have to take this, kid on, but at the same time, it's like, maybe they didn't treat her in the way that, they would treat their kids. And then she feels like, like imagine how that feels. So I can understand. And then somebody wrote, wow, based on the OP's comments, he is absolutely an asshole. Interesting. I would like to see what he said.
Well, here's one of the clips. It says, read OP's comments and see if you change your mind. This girl was passed around from blah, 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 blah. So this was one of his comments, I think. She went to therapy once when she was 10, but refused to talk to the therapist. So that was it. How long do I have to waste money on therapy until the princess would finally decide to talk? Sending her to her room for a few days proved to be more effective than therapy. We didn't let her get away with it. She spent most of her teenage years being punished to the point we got worried about her.
Oh, that's weird.
I know. So I think there's more to it.
Yeah, and the fact that she was 10 and she didn't talk to the therapist, like, I get it, right? It's like, I'm sure it's frustrating to take a kid to a therapist and it's expensive and she's not talking and she's probably being like a bit bratty. But again, we have to understand that this kid is going through a lot of trauma and I don't know how I would behave in that situation either. You're a child. Yeah. So to say that, oh, the princess would finally decide to talk. Come on now.
I know.
The princess.
I think that also gives you an idea of how he's like, she's not a princess. She had literally her parents fucking left her.
It sounds like it, yeah. So, maybe everyone sucks here. Everyone's the fucking asshole.
I think everyone does suck here. I think this is an everyone sucks here moment.
Yeah, like I don't think she should have acted the way she did, but I think we have to understand that, like, when you are in a situation where you're, treated like this, you're probably gonna end up being like her. Yeah. So, it said, let's see here.
I feel like he's leaving out a lot out. Like this doesn't seem to be. Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I think, sure, it's nice that he took her on, but at the same time, I feel like if you are going to take a child into your life and take care of this child and parent this child, you have to, like, maybe it's difficult, but you have to try to treat them like your child. Like, if you're going to take, otherwise, don't take that responsibility. Yeah. Because then maybe they can go somewhere else where they can feel more, loved.
And inclusion.
Goddamn. Drama. So, yeah, I don't know. It does sound like based on what he said, that he's also the asshole.
Yep. Everyone sucks there, guys.
Am I the asshole for refusing to wear the bridesmaid dress? My 25 female best friend, 24 female, is getting married in a few months. The name is Rain. What a name. I'm really happy for her, but I'm having a major issue with the bridesmaid dress. The dress itself isn't hideous. It's just unflattering. It's a bright neon green. What the actual fuckery is this? That was my commentary. Which wouldn't normally be a big deal breaker, but it's a halter top with a super low back. Now I'm all for embracing my body, but I have pretty bad scoliosis, which is, I think it's like a skin issue. And I think it has like spots.
I also think, isn't scoliosis when your back curves a bit, like weirdly?
Oh, sorry. If I remember, I'm thinking about something else. Sorry.
Yeah, let's check on your phone really quick.
I'm thinking of psoriasis or something.
I think that's what you're right. I think scoliosis is when your back has like a more deep curvature. That's probably why she's like backless dress. Right. Okay, she's like maybe conscious. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think I got it mixed. Let's see.
You might be right though. I don't know.
No, you're right. So it's definitely like a back. Okay, so never mind. Yeah. It's not a skin issue. And she has a prominent scar on her back from childhood surgery.
Probably related to scoliosis. Yeah.
The low back would definitely show off both, and I'm not comfortable with that. I talked to Rain about it, suggesting maybe a shawl or finding a dress with a higher back. She shut me down completely. She said the dresses are non-negotiable and that it's her day. I understand wanting everything to look perfect for her wedding, but I don't feel comfortable feeling so exposed on such a big day. I floated the idea of just opting out of being a bridesmaid altogether. Rain got really upset and said it would be a huge betrayal. Now I feel stuck. I don't want to be a bad friend, but I also don't want to wear a dress that makes me feel self-conscious. Am I the asshole for refusing to wear the dress? You are not the fucking asshole.
No.
This Rain girl is a fucking asshole.
She's being a bridezilla.
I hate when brides think, like, I get it. It's a nice day. Great. And people want to celebrate it with you. But you are not the only person in this fucking world. Okay.
Yeah.
Just because you're a bride doesn't mean you get to dictate how everyone behaves on that fucking day and what everyone fucking wears. Okay. Yeah. It is ridiculous. So ridiculous. If your best friend is telling you she feels very uncomfortable, she's very self-conscious.
Yeah.
How dare you be like, oh, it's my day. It's a non-negotiable. Fuck off. I wouldn't even go to the fucking wedding.
Exactly. Or even just like, I mean, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Like, it's like you're putting people in an uncomfortable situation just because it's your day. Like,
why wouldn't you want someone to have a great time at your wedding?
Exactly.
You're
you would.
the best friend.
Yeah.
You are not the center of the universe. I hate.
I know.
This is such a pet peeve of mine.
And it happens so much at weddings. This is also like, I know this sounds bad, but this is part of the reason, like, honestly, the more we read these fucking stories, the more I think to myself, guys, I'm like, I've always been a proponent of thinking that I want to elope. Like, that's been my, like, ever since I was young. I've never wanted a big wedding. I kind of want to do like 3-week holiday with my partner where we do like almost like a honeymoon wedding, all combined, just the two of us, and then come back to where like Calgary or whatever and do like a small like party, maybe even at our house or something, have like tapas and drinks and all that kind of stuff, and maybe show a video or pictures montage, something really simple, right? That way people can wear whatever the fuck they want. There's not all this drama. And the more I hear about these stories, the more I'm like, fuck a big wedding. Honestly.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be this asshole.
No, I know I wouldn't.
Right. You wouldn't be the one like making these things.
But these stories aren't just about the bride and the groom, or the groom and the groom in my case, but it's also about all the family drama.
Yes.
Oh, the aunt that wanted to bring her 17 kids, and maybe you want to have a childless wedding. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much little things here and there that you're like, oh, I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah. So someone wrote, not the asshole, the perfect time to set a boundary with your friend. I'm not going to wear a dress that shows off my back. If the dress is a non-negotiable, I will step down as a bridesmaid. If she no longer wants you at the wedding, all the better. If she no longer wants to be your friend, well, you dodged a bullet on that one because she isn't a real friend to begin with. She cannot force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. Exactly. Her putting her foot down just creates space for people to leave. She's free to decide that her bridesmaids have to wear that dress, but she in no way can force anyone to be her bridesmaid.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I think a big part of it too is, as somebody that's your best friend or someone that's a really close friend of yours, they obviously know that you have scoliosis. They obviously know that that's something that you're dealing with. Like, it would be like if my friend like had like a massive hit, like, I don't want to say hideous, but like, let's say they had a really massive scar on their back.
Yeah.
And because of it, they never like to wear bikinis or anything like that. And then I'm about to be like, you have to wear a backless dress to my wedding.
Yeah.
Like, you're the asshole.
You mean this exact situation?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, fuck. And you're
it's almost like if this exact situation happened, then you're the asshole.
Yes. Like, oh God, you know, I hate it. Like, people like,
God, I really hate it.
Yeah.
I hate this. This is so, and it's like, it makes your friends feel like they're stuck between like a rock and a hard place. Because it's like, okay, so of course, like, you want to be like, you want to go to your friend's wedding and you want to be a bridesmaid or whatever. You want to be there for your friend. But then she's saying, if you don't wear this dress, you're going to disappoint me. But also at the same time, I want you to be a bridesmaid. It's like, what the fuck do you want, bitch? What the fuck do you want?
It's wild because I've been to a lot of weddings and I've never experienced and also, any of this bullshit.
Why do you care so much?
Yeah.
As long as you look good in your dress, who the fuck cares? Like, I hate this. Like, oh my God, it has to be perfect. Nobody is noticing. Trust me. Nobody notices.
Exactly.
If the bridesmaids' dresses are perfectly the same as every bridesmaid, like, nobody cares. Okay.
Well,
like,
her friend was even trying to say, hey, can I just wear like a shawl? So it's still the same fucking dress, but my back is covered. Like,
oh my God, I can't.
I know. Oh, it's so I hate the wedding ones. I mean, I hate them and love them at the same time.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for being snarky when my mother-in-law walked through the house unannounced? What? Like, on a side note, who are these people? Fuck. My living situation needs explaining. My house is built on a hillside and street level is the top floor. Bedrooms are 1 floor down. Below that is the basement unit where my retired mother-in-law lives.
Okay.
She has her own bathroom, kitchen, laundry, etc. To leave the house, she can use an outside staircase which goes all the way up to street level, or she can come through our space where there's a door between her unit and the upper levels. We bought the house together for financial reasons. The agreement was that my mother-in-law would use the outside stairs when the weather was nice and use the inside stairs if the weather's raining or snowing. But she'd have to text us and give us reasonable warning to avoid awkward encounters. Give me enough time to make sure I'm not going to the bathroom with the door open. I'm sure
that's the only awkward encounter.
Fast forward, my wife and I now have 2 kids. My mother-in-law needed back surgery about 4 years ago. Since that surgery, she's exclusively used the inside stairs to leave, and I've bit my tongue and not brought up our original agreement. The main issue is that she's very inconsistent in texting us. When she does text, it's typically within 2 to 4 minutes warning. I live in constant anxiety listening for that door to open. When I hear it, the first thing I do is check my phone. I'd say there's a text message around half the time. Yesterday, we took our kids on a day trip and noticed the mother-in-law parked her car in a way that took me a few attempts to get our van clear. It was also very close to our mailbox. My wife texts my mom and asked her to...
Her mom?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. My wife texts her mom and asked her to move her car. Literally just 3 to 4 feet would avoid an angry note from our grouchy mail carrier. We get home 7 hours later and the car hasn't moved. So my wife calls out my mother-in-law for that 2 more hours pass, and I hear the door open. I check my phone and there's a coming up text from my mother-in-law at 4:59. It's 5:01 when I hear the door. Afterward, my wife made it a point to remind me that her mom texted, likely because I was visibly annoyed. I respond in an admittedly sarcastic tone. Yeah, 2 minutes ahead. So my wife gets angry with me and lectures me about how her mom never does anything right, how it's uncomfortable for her to be between us in an awkward situation, etc. My wife has had no issue with her mom coming up without warning. My kids have grown up with their grandmother coming up without warning. I obviously didn't grow up with her. Did I overreact how this went down?
I'm trying to read that part again about the trip. Yesterday, we took our kids on a day trip. Noticed that my mother-in-law parked her car in a way that took me a few attempts to get our van clear. It was close to the mailbox, blah, blah, blah. We get home wife asks her to move the car. They get home 7 hours later. The car hasn't moved. The wife calls out. Okay, so that part is very irrelevant. I don't really know why. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. So I don't know. How do you feel about this? I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure either, because the issue...
It seems a bit unreasonable.
I would say I'm on the fence a little bit. Not quite on the fence, but I'm like, okay, you guys bought this house together, right? For financial reasons. So I'm guessing that the mother-in-law had to help you guys with the house as well, right, to get into the house in the first place, right? So you can't take away the fact that she's part of the reason you guys have this house to begin with. Secondly, you bought a house where you only have two options from the basement suite to either go up through the outside staircase, right, or go through the actual house itself. Right. Which
would be easier, I imagine, to go through the house.
I think it probably is. Right. Because it sounds like the other thing is a spiral staircase or something. Yeah. And it's probably nicer just to walk through the inside and more convenient. And it's, she's probably like older.
She has
surgery, all this other stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if you were uncomfortable with her being in your house, you shouldn't have bought a house that she had to go through to get out of. You know what I mean? Like the only other option is like maybe a rickety staircase. I don't know if it's rickety, but like why if you're going to have a house with your mother-in-law, why not have it so that there's completely separate entrances or something where she does, or like a bungalow or some way where she doesn't physically have to go through your house to then get to street level.
So, yeah, the thing is, I guess they did have the agreement initially.
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense, and because they did agree to it, then, maybe they are in the right. He is in the right to be a bit upset. But then it says 4 years ago, she had back surgery. Yeah. And then since then, she's exclusively used the inside stairs to leave. And I've bit my tongue. So first of all, why did you bite your tongue? If it bothered you so much and you already had an agreement. Because it sounds like 4 years is a long time for her to be.
That is a fucking long time.
At that point, the rule is like, I'm sorry, it's void. Yeah. Because if you haven't talked to her about it seriously, you can't just randomly get upset one day and be like, when you're pissed off.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, if it really bothers you and if you really feel like, okay, we have this agreement.
Oh my God, 4 years is such a long time.
I know, it's like you did it 4 years ago. She started exclusively using the inside stairs. Then you should have been like, listen, we had an agreement.
Yeah.
You know, like we agreed that you're not going to use the inside stairs.
Yeah.
So, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, and it's like, I don't know, like the rule, first of all, I think it sounds unreasonable, but you know, fair, you had a rule.
Yeah.
Second of all, she started violating the rules, so maybe you should have talked to her about it at that time.
Yeah.
4 fucking years ago.
4 years later, you bottle this all inside for 4 fucking years, and now all of a sudden you're having a hissy fit about it.
And like, let's be honest, like, and again, I don't know, maybe we're just being too nice to the mother-in-law, but like to text every time you're going up the stairs. And again, if you've been doing it for 4 years and you haven't really
text
and you haven't really talked about it, what do you expect her to do now all of a sudden?
And she's probably thinking in her mind, she's like,
He's
I'm literally
probably okay with it.
Yeah. Well, and also if I'm just going up the stairs and out the door, does it really warrant me having to text all the time? Like I'm literally I'm not coming into your house. I'm just going up and out.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I feel
I wonder what people are saying.
I know.
I don't know. We might be unpopular here.
I think we might
Let's
be.
see.
Let's see what's happened. Hey, someone put, well, can't you just lock the inside door? There's another exit from her floor, so it wouldn't be a safety issue. Let's see what other people put.
Wait, hold on. What did they say? Was it the original poster? Okay. So the original poster responded to that and said, LOL, my kids lock that door every now and then. They say it's to keep her safe when they do it and not understanding that locks are directional. If we don't notice and it gets left locked, we typically hear loud pounding on that door and she comes up and can't get through. Okay. Everyone sucks here. Your family came up with rules and mother-in-law isn't abiding by them. You let it simmer for literal years, yes, and then get snippy randomly. So from their perspective, you are volatile and snap randomly so they feel on edge. You aren't doing them any favors, keeping your thoughts quiet until they boil over at random times. Exactly. You need to sit down with your wife and mother-in-law and have a civil conversation about boundaries and personal space. Explain your need at least 10 minutes notice every time she comes upstairs because your anxiety about potentially being walked in on is legitimate and needs to be addressed. It's exhausting constantly being vigilant and on edge about an intrusion. Or consider a doorbell for that inside door that she can announce herself and wait several minutes. If she cannot respect your boundaries, put a lock on the door and you'll open after you see her text. What the fuck? Wife can choose to leave it unlocked if you aren't home, but you lock it when you're home so you have control over your personal space. Yeah, I agree. Like everyone's an asshole.
Everyone sucks here. Everyone really does suck here. Like I can kind of get from his opinion. Like I personally wouldn't like it if my mother-in-law was like just randomly walking through my house.
But like,
you know
don't get a fucking house with your mother. Like, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Okay?
If this is
that's ridiculous. I think this whole thing is fucking ridiculous.
I know you're right. Why did you get a house? First of all, with your mother-in-law, if this was a concern,
it's
and then,
just unreasonable.
Exactly. And then secondly, if you get a house that you are going to share with your mother-in-law, like get one that has directly separate entrances and there is no need for her to go through your house to get outside or wherever she needs to get. Like there are plenty of houses that have like grandmother suites or like suites in the basement that have their own entrance and exit. They don't even have to go into the other house. Like there's so many things you could have done to not put yourself in this situation and then bottle your feelings for 4 fucking years
and only like go crazy once in a while.
I kept, because I had to reflect there for a second. I'm like, holy shit.
4 years.
I've only just been back in Canada for 4 years.
Oh, goddamn, Daniel.
So it's as if I would, the moment I moved back here, bottled in that feeling for 4
4
years. Oh.
Someone wrote, you're the asshole. Why did you buy a single family house with someone towards whom you have this attitude? You are okay to get the financial benefit of a relationship, but don't want to see the person. And people not always make plans to go out 30 minutes before leaving. In my house, I go out anytime I want. Just think, I have a 20-minute timer on my door lock to open. I would be mad as hell. Like it or not, it is your wife's and your mother-in-law's house, so you cannot impose any rules by yourself. I kind of agree. Like, again, I get it that you guys all agreed on it. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't think it was that reasonable to be like, I want you to text me 10 minutes in advance. Like, it sounds easier said than done.
Of course.
Like, it's like, like when I'm opening the door, I'm not just going to like always think about texting someone.
Of course not.
Imagine you have to text someone every time you open a fucking door.
That's probably why she's like that. Like, does it have like less than half the time? I'm the same. Like, if all of a sudden I'll be like, oh shit, I have to run out and grab some stuff. I'm not going to fucking text. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, and also, that person made a good point, and this person makes a good point. You're the asshole. Your mother-in-law also owns this house, but you're trying to act like her landlord. You agree to the situation. You let this text to use the stairs thing fester, and it sounds like you're just looking for things to pick apart.
Yeah.
Kind of true.
And someone put, just let the old lady use your door. Jesus.
Yes, exactly. And also like this whole like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom with the door closed. Come on, buddy.
I know.
Okay, listen.
This is a pet peeve of mine.
What?
I do not understand, okay?
Which part?
People going to the bathroom with the door open.
I do it all the time when I'm living alone.
I know when you're alone, it doesn't matter. But like if you're living in a house with other people,
yeah.
I think, you know what? I don't care what you're doing. I mean, I do. But like, I don't want to fucking hear you taking a shit in the bathroom with the door open. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're living with other people.
Yeah.
Close the fucking door.
And also, you know what? It sounds like this needs to be how it is. But again, it just sounds like he just doesn't like his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But if I were in that situation, it's like, oh, I just don't want her bursting in when I'm fucking in the bathroom with the door open, or probably when I'm fucking my wife is what he wants to say.
I think that's probably what he wants to say.
But like, if that's the case, you could be like, listen, in the next, like, I don't know, hour, do you mind not using the stairs? I don't know. Like, it seems like that would be more reasonable instead of being like, you can never use these unless you text me in advance. It's just weird. Okay. It's so fucking weird.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, and you know what? Everyone's
agreeing with us.
A lot of people saying that he's the asshole, actually, which I'm kind of like, oh yeah, someone wrote, you're the asshole. I think your arrangement is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Mother-in-law should not feel like a prisoner in her own home who needs your permission to go outside using her most convenient means of exiting.
Egress.
Yeah. Egress. Is that, what does that mean? Anyway, she's a grown-ass woman, not a puppy, and like it or not, she's a member of your family. Just close the door when you're in the bathroom and give everybody a break. Agreed.
And I think I like the point earlier too. Mm-hmm. The sense that like this is a home that you guys all bought together, and you're treating her like she's a tenant, right? Like I'm the landlord. You can't come up into this space.
Exactly.
It's like, well, hang on. She actually owns the space,
and you guys used each other to buy this space, so you own the fucking space.
You know what? If you want to avoid these situations, buy a house by yourself.
Exactly.
You know what? You needed to use your mother-in-law for the financial situation to get this fucking house, and now you're mad because she has to walk through to get outside. Like, ugh.
Yeah. And you know what? I've changed my mind. He's the asshole.
Yes.
She's very not much. I mean, she might be a tiny bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
But he's the asshole.
Exactly. Like imagine your kids are like, oh, you know, we need your financial help to get this house. Like we can't get it by ourselves.
But listen, you can never use the stairs
unless you text me 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
Give me warning. And she's like, oh, I guess okay. Like,
and to be fair, she did text him in advance. Yes, it was 2 minutes. But again, what's the time limit here?
Exactly. Are you going to be monitoring? I like this part too, where it says, you're the asshole. She's old, hard for her to move. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought of swapping areas of the house? She can't possibly continue to go up and down the stairs to fucking appease you. I added the fucking, but you know. It actually bothers me because I'm like thinking of this like old sweet lady now.
I know.
That's like her son-in-law is like being a little bitch because he wants to take a shit with the door open apparently.
Or plow his wife.
Yeah.
I think he just doesn't like her, it sounds like. Yeah. Was that you or me?
I think it was me.
Okay. Next. Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole for calling my girlfriend my boyfriend? Interesting. I, 23 male, am dating my girlfriend, Angela, 24 female. Despite being nearly the same age, she generally acts a bit more immature than me, in my opinion. We often go out as a group, her friends and mine. Anyway, Angela has recently been choosing to make a couple of jokes about me being a girl, which I don't love, but I take it as just another quirk since she does it fairly regularly or rarely. Sorry. She'll point out a dress or something and say I'd look good in that. What the fuck? I think this is ironic. I'm fairly a tall guy and about the right weight for my height. I don't particularly look feminine other than being clean shaven, which isn't even feminine. Mm-hmm. The only issue is she started doing it in front of other people as well. She started with her friends, at which point I could kind of but not really see the humor in it. But she started doing it with my guy friends once or twice, which is beyond embarrassing. It's uncomfortable and I don't like it. I brought this up to her and said I didn't like it. It was was weird and not even funny anymore. But she said if I was secure in my masculinity, I should be able to handle it. I asked her how she'd feel if I called her a boy, and she said she'd feel fine because she's secure in herself. I took her at her word. Last night when we went to a bar, I introduced her as my boyfriend. This sounds like a very mature relationship.
It's killing me.
She took massive offense to this.
Of course she did.
Something I didn't realize until we went home and she told me what an asshole I was. Her argument is that comparing her to a boy is different than calling her my boyfriend since the relationships are different. But I'm bi. What the fuck? It wouldn't make a difference if she was my boyfriend/girlfriend. I think I did exactly what I said I'd do. It's not like it came out of the blue. But am I the asshole? You guys are fucking immature.
Y'all need to break up.
This is like y'all need to break up.
This is some. I mean, to be fair, they're 23 and 24, but come on, guys. Like the fact that you told her, and honestly, I think
everyone sucks.
Everyone does suck, but the fact that he sucks a bit. Okay, hear me out here.
She sucks more, is what you're saying.
Yes, because he literally brought it up to her. He did the mature thing and said, "Hey, I really don't like you doing this. Can we not do that anymore?" And instead of her being like, appreciate you communicating that with me.
I won't do that anymore.
She said, "It's fine. You should
feel secure in your masculinity.
Feel secure in your masculinity." So then he takes it a step further, and this is when he becomes a little bit sucky himself.
He becomes the asshole,
and he goes, "Well, what if I called you a boy?" And I
think that part's fine to be like, "What if I did that to you?" And then she said she'd feel fine. Now at that point, you say, "Well, I don't care if you'd feel fine.
Yeah,
I don't feel fine, and I think because we're in a relationship, you should respect how I feel."
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, he said, "No, that's fine. I'll just call her my boyfriend." Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Like, everyone sucks. Everyone's really stupid. Okay, go.
Not the asshole. But do you really want to be in a relationship with somebody who plays stupid games, negs you, but he's also playing games?
Yes.
Negs you, calls you a girl to be funny, and then gets mad when you do the same when you don't? I wouldn't.
Well, I would say, what? When everyone's saying not the asshole? Everyone sucks here. What are you talking about?
Come on, we need to find...
Someone wrote, not the asshole. As soon as you told her the jokes made you uncomfortable and you didn't like them, she should have said, I won't make them anymore. It's that easy.
Exactly.
She cares more about her being able to make that stupid joke than she does about your feelings. She actually isn't trying to be funny in a we're all in on the joke kind of way. She actually just wants you to be uncomfortable. But I think everyone sucks.
I do too, because like him being like, oh, you're the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Someone put info. Are you the first bi guy that she's dated? It sounds like she might be a bit insecure about that. And by making these jokes, she's having a dig/testing you. I think her reaction to your comment enforces that, to be honest. Because she's like saying, oh, you're not comfortable with your sexuality, your masculinity.
Sure, yeah.
And he's bi, so maybe there's some more kind of nuances with that. You know what I mean?
A lot of people are saying not the asshole. I'm kind of surprised that not everyone is saying...
Everyone is saying not the asshole.
Yeah. Are we in the wrong? I think everyone sucks here. Sorry.
I think everyone sucks too.
Like, yes, I think up until the point where he communicated.
Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
Finally.
I love how we look for the comments that agree with us.
I know. That's not the definition of insanity, is it?
Everyone sucks here. Her for not stopping when you asked her to. Absolutely. You because it sounds like you're putting words in her mouth. You start off by saying that she makes jokes about you being a girl. Then the only evidence you offer is her saying that a dress she saw would look nice on you. That's not the same thing as calling you a girl. Likewise, she said she didn't have a problem being compared to a boy, but you didn't compare her to a boy. You called her a boyfriend.
Oh
well, this person's being stupid. I don't know.
But everyone does suck here.
I think everyone sucks here. Like, oh yeah, someone says very slight. Everyone sucks here. As soon as you seriously told her that it wasn't okay, she should have stopped and apologized. Instead, she gaslit you about what a healthy relationship to one's gender means and demonstrated a severe lack of empathy. Yeah. However, it is a different thing introducing someone in a serious tone as something they are not, as opposed to obviously making jokes. I mean, listen, this is all just fucking immature. Yeah. Okay. Again. Definitely, she sucks more, for sure.
She does suck
She's more of an asshole. Yeah. But at the same time, it's just passive aggressive. Like,
I wonder if there is some, like somebody kind of like talked about it earlier, but I wonder if there is some uncomfortability that she has dating someone that's bi. And that's why she's making those jokes about him wearing a dress, questioning his masculinity. you know, because and then maybe also why he gets a little bit more sensitive about it. Like there could be so many nuances, right? But yeah, I think everyone sucks here. She's slightly more sucky.
Yeah,
that's it.
Continued. That's our opinion, and we're standing with it.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for not telling my girlfriend the full price of a meal on DoorDash when she said she was going to pay for it?
Okay.
Last night, me and my girlfriend were feeling lazy, so we decided to order DoorDash. I mean, you know, I just want to pause here for a second. Like, we have to remember, like, I love reading these and going through these stories, but sometimes, like, we're reading them, and then you can't take away the fact that somebody thought about this so much that they posted online about a fucking DoorDash meal.
Yeah.
That she. Okay. Anyway, I digress. It's sometimes the internet is a very strange and wonderful place.
I think people need to go outside, touch some grass, and meet real people.
Exactly.
But otherwise, we wouldn't have this content.
This is true. So keep writing them, guys. Please do. And sometimes I do see the benefit in terms of getting like unbiased opinions, but also if you're narrating it, like it's already in a biased view. So
agreed.
It's hard to say. But anyway, last night me and my girlfriend were feeling lazy, so we decided to order DoorDash. We decided to order some wings. I had just recently come off a few big purchases, so I wanted to be cautious with my money. I asked her if she could pay for it, and she said yes. She can transfer the money to my bank account. I would just have to tell her the amount. Well, when I went to order, it turns out it would cost around $50 with fees to deliver. I felt like it was a bit expensive, especially since my girlfriend is also trying to save money. So I decided to be generous, and after ordering, I told her it costs around $25. That way, we both contribute half to the delivery. The food came here, and everything was fine. Everything went fine. I don't think it was a big deal. When I woke up in the morning, my girlfriend seemed a bit upset when I asked her what's wrong. She looked through my transaction history and saw the actual cost for the DoorDash was $50. She asked me why I lied about the price, and I told her that I wanted to be nice and gave her a much more reasonable price so that she didn't have to pay the whole thing. But she didn't seem to believe that and took it as me trying to guilt her into paying that amount of money, which I correctly assumed she would be mad at wanting to pay that much. Now I'm wondering if I should have just been upfront about the money, or I should have told her I was going to split the cost with her.
Okay, I don't understand. Why is he upset? Why was she upset?
Because I don't get it. Because he told her it was only $25 when it was $50.
But then she said, but she didn't seem to believe that and took it as me trying to guilt her into paying that amount of money. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What?
You know what I would have done in
Buddy, this doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. What I would have done in this situation is what I normally do. Like if I order DoorDash with anybody, I'm like, hey guys, the total is $50. Is everyone okay with this? Yes or no? Your portion is XYZ, or I'm going to pay for it, or do you want to pay? Like,
what? No, this is what I would do. You're both trying to save money. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's say the girlfriend was like, okay, I'll pay for it. Mm-hmm. No, first of all, you asked her to pay for it. She said yes.
Yeah.
And then you ordered and it was 50. You could have just been like, oh, it's 50, but just give me half.
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems weird.
It seems very weird.
Let's see. 12? It says, Slight, you're the asshole. Your intentions were good, but at the end of the day, the action you took was lying to the person you're dating. You would have achieved the same thing if you'd been open and honest from the start, and you would have saved her feelings. Oh, damn, this is going to cost $50. How about we split it since it's so much, and we'll each pay $25. Exactly. I don't know why she was upset. I don't understand.
It seems so stupid. It's like, this is a dumb one. Everyone sucks here.
Yes.
Simple. This is $50. Let's split it. I don't want you to pay all that when you decided to check out. I mean, and honestly, guys, like I don't know where they are, but like $50 on DoorDash to me doesn't sound that expensive. Like I'm just meaning
for
because
2 meals. Yeah.
For 2 meals, because food is fucking expensive
Buddy,
now.
cook your fucking meal.
Exactly.
Like
if you don't want to pay $50, I guess it's just wings, but I don't know. I don't order wings, so I have no idea. But like $50, like
yeah.
If you want to save that money, cook yourself.
This is so weird.
It's a weird one.
What a weird one.
That'd be strange as hell, Rose. Turn. It is your turn, Roses. Is the juice rat for the squeeze? Not
safe for work. Okay. Am I the asshole? I don't want to hear my roommate getting intimate? Question mark. Am I the asshole? 24 female. I don't want to hear my roommate, 25 female, and her boyfriend being intimate late at night. I have to literally text and call them what feels like 3 times during the week to tell them to please be quiet because I have work in the morning. They know I have a 35-minute commute to work and have to get up at 6:30 a.m. Yet they will be thudding up against my wall at 2 a.m. By the way, our rooms are sharing a wall. I tried to talk to both of them, and they even asked why they can't do these activities earlier before 10 p.m. They said it isn't their fault, that they can't control when they get into the mood. And it just happens. I replied, I have no problem with adults having fun, but I don't want to underperform at work because I'm tired. I also said that they couldn't be more respectful at night. If they couldn't be more respectful at night, that we'd have to figure out how to take me off the lease and I'll just move into my own place. She said I'm being a bad friend. What the fuck? Because then she would have to pay the whole rent because her boyfriend doesn't have a job. Sounds like a keeper. Or any money. I told her that that's crazy for her to say that I'm the bad guy when they're causing the issue by keeping me up at night.
I mean, I think it's very fair, and I don't think she's the asshole. No. Like, I think she's actually taking a very responsible approach to this to say, hey, look, all up for you guys having adult fun. I know that you guys are dating. I know you guys are serious, whatever. But like, you know, if you're doing, you know what, you can do those activities at 2 a.m. if you want, but like maybe
the fucking quiet.
Exactly. Maybe tone it down a little bit. You don't have to be thudding up against a wall, you know, at 2 a.m. when I have work the next day at 6:30.
Sounds
like
fucking awful.
Oh my God, the worst. And then for her to be like, and then she was like really nice about it. And she said, hey, you know what? If you guys want to do that, by all means, like I don't want to get in your way. Like I can just come off the lease and I'll find my own place because I don't want to, you know, I need to make sure of this. And then her friend has the audacity to be like, well, you can't do that to me because then I'll have to pay the full rent. Well,
the boyfriend doesn't have a fucking job.
Yeah, well then maybe be a little bit respectful that you listen. This is very similar to that mother-in-law story as well. If you decide or choose to like live with people, either you buy a place together, you're renting a place together, you have to understand that this is not just your space.
Exactly.
So you have to be able to be respectful within reason, obviously, of the other people that are sharing that space with you. You cannot be, you know, doing things that are really detrimental to somebody else, like keeping them up late at night when they have work in the morning. Like,
oh, sounds awful.
I know. And like, you know what? We all get those passions and we all want to have wild, crazy sex sometimes. But hey, you know what? If you do live with somebody, you got to be respectful. And like she's saying, hey, do it before 10, you know, if I can get crazy and wild, thud up against the wall all you want up until that time. Then later on, if you wake up at 2 and you get the urge to have sex, have quiet sex.
Oh God.
There is such a thing. You know, you can control it a little bit, have a little bit of quieter sex. Or maybe when she's on holidays and you have the place to yourself, fucking go wild. You know, like you have those options.
Someone wrote, not the asshole. They can't control when they get in the mood, but they can move the bed so it doesn't bang on the wall. At the very least, you're being extremely reasonable until now. Stop disturbing my sleep or I'll sleep somewhere else. Yes. Yeah. Someone wrote, yeah, that part is definitely intentional. Being that loud is a humble brag, and boyfriend for sure wants the roommate to hear her.
Oh,
that kind of sounds like that's the case because any normal person, I feel like if your roommate was like, I heard you like fucking last night.
Yeah.
Any normal that doesn't have like a kink or anything like that, they'd be like, oh, fuck. I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize we were so loud.
Do that again. Yeah. Like, I didn't realize we're so loud. That's kind of embarrassing. Like, you know, but it sounds like, you know, they clearly know that she can hear, yet they keep doing it.
Someone put, I'd be super loud when I got ready for work every single morning. Then when they said something, I'd say, can't help it. When I have to get ready for work, it won't take too many mornings for them to either be too tired for middle of the night or realize they're being rude. Sometimes matching energy is all it takes. No, like I
say you need to move the fuck out.
Exactly. Like this whole matching energy, if shit's like, no, that's playing games. Like, you know what? You told them how you felt. You're like, hey, please be respectful of my time. You know, if you can't do that, then I'm going to leave. If they continue to not be respectful of your time, then you say, okay, I'm leaving.
What are you supposed to do though? Because like, it's like you have the lease, your name is on the lease.
Yeah.
So I guess you could like talk to your landlord and be like, listen,
I need to leave.
Yeah. There's probably something you could do, but that's kind of tough. If you're on the lease with someone and you need to leave, it's like legally you're kind of like bound to that place.
Especially if that person doesn't want you to leave.
Oh,
this is why guys choose your roommates wisely. Because you're right. Like, oh.
God, I can't even imagine.
No, me neither.
All right. Is it your turn?
It is, because you picked that delicious one, Rose. Am I the asshole for reporting a child licking the sauce dispensers at Costco?
What the actual hell?
I didn't even know that I guess for like,
like hot dogs and stuff.
Yeah. I went to Costco and bought a hot dog for myself and my husband. After waiting in line, I went to the sauce dispensers to get some mustard. I saw a child licking her fingers, eating sauce off them, and then proceeding to wipe them on the sauce dispensers where the sauce comes out, repeating the same thing several times with all 3 sauce dispensers.
No.
I know. Like, we'll go into it in a minute.
Yeah.
I decided not to confront the child or say anything to her family to avoid causing drama, embarrassing the child. Instead, I told the staff about the incident. The staff member came out, asked who did it. I pointed at the child. Probably should have kept quiet, but oh well. The staff member confronted the family, which was a big group with 2 women and their children of various ages. The child who did this was about 6 to 7 years old. I saw her licking everything around her. And even her mother asked her to stop. The family then confronted me and asked why I didn't tell them directly and went straight to staff. I politely explained that my concern was food safety. That's all, so I wasn't looking to confront anyone. They didn't believe me, said I must hate children, and,
My God.
and spent the next few minutes talking over me and not letting me put a word in. I reiterated that my concern was only the food safety and I don't want other people's saliva in my sauces.
Fair.
The staff member then told them they could easily check the CCTV, which seemed to calm the family down. I'm still frustrated due to the whole incident. I hate arguing with people in public and wonder if I'm in the wrong here. Am I the asshole? Edit. Just wanted to highlight that I told the staff to get them to clean the dispensers. That was the reason.
Not the asshole, obviously.
I know. This bothers me. Like, and I know that because I know that there's so many families that do this where their kids are misbehaving, right? And their kids shouldn't, like their kids 6 to 7 years old, they really shouldn't be doing that, right? Like, especially, other people are using it. Like, you need to be respectful. And then somebody from the store is coming over and talking to your family to be like, hey,
don't do that.
Don't do this. And then you're retaliating against the person that mentioned this in the first place. Like, no. You're saying, oh, you hate kids. No, it's not about hating children. You're doubling down because you're not controlling your children properly. Mm-hmm. And that's the real problem here is that there needs to be some discipline and there needs to be like, you shouldn't be allowing your children to do that. I know
no
sometimes
wonder
kids
the child is doing it.
Of course. And the fact that they like got all up in this person's space, didn't let them talk, confronted them. Like, you could just tell from that what kind of parents there are. And I don't blame them because you know what? If I saw somebody's kid doing stuff, I would feel hesitant to go and talk to the family because immediately when it's someone's child, they get defensive. Yeah. Whether or not their child is in the wrong or not, nobody likes to be told that their child is doing something they shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And then because then they also think it's an attack as them as a parent. Yeah. And then they'll lash out. Like, if I saw a kid doing this, I probably would have done the same thing and just told the staff
you should because like they do need to clean it.
Exactly.
It's fucking gross.
But like, I wouldn't have gone up to the family and been like, your child's licking this, because then they'd be like, well, who are you to say this and blah blah blah.
It's not your job to tell the fucking parents how to deal with your child. But if you see a child doing something like that, it makes sense to report it and be like, okay, you need to clean this shit. Yeah. And someone wrote, not the asshole. The staff needed to know so that they could clean the dispensers. Yep. It's also not your job to parent that child or to confront the parents. Exactly. You did the right thing. I'm also curious as to why the parents knew that it was you that reported this. The staff should have handled this very discreetly so that nobody knew who it was that reported their child. That would have saved a confrontation. There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Like, I would hope that if I went to the staff member and was like, hey, that kid over there, they were like licking this dispensers. It probably needs to be cleaned. I hope that they wouldn't go over to that family and be like, that person said that your child is licking the dispensers. But then you have to remember, sometimes the staff at this place are like 10 years old. Exactly. Right? So like
they're not trained for that.
I know. They're just like, well, that person said X, Y, Z. And like, oh. Oh, God. That's crazy.
The staff member was also a dumbass.
Yeah, 100%.
Woo! Am I the asshole for telling my dad he should have canceled a date after we were told my grandma, his mom, had 24 hours left to live? Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow, this could get dark.
My grandma, 85, moved across the country last year to be closer to my dad, 65, when her health issues started getting worse. My dad has been great about caring for her the last year, bringing her to appointments, checking in on her, doing her shopping, etc. I, 33, don't live in the US anymore, so the responsibility fell on him. When my dad told me grandma was going through going to hospice. I booked my flight to the US. I spent the night with her, and my dad arrived at the hospice the next morning. The doctor told us that morning that she had about a day left. My dad left shortly after and said he wouldn't be back until tomorrow morning because he was going on a date. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The next morning, my dad arrived at the hospice and my grandma soon took her last breath. I'm so grateful I was able to be there for her, but I was also extremely difficult having been in a similar situation with my mom 3 years ago.
Oh God.
What? We drove back to my dad's house and his date was at the house. I had to make small talk with her about my travels, what she does for work, etc. only an hour after my grandma died. My dad and her decided to continue their date 2 hours after my grandma died. What the actual hell is going on?
I know.
They went out for breakfast, followed by a bike ride in the park while I stayed at home. I don't have any family or friends that live in the States, so I was all alone. I had only been back in the US for less than 2 days, but only spent about 4 hours with my dad. I just couldn't understand how he would rather spend the final hours of his mom's life with this random woman rather than spend it with his mom and daughter, who he only sees once a year. After the woman left, we started making plans for the celebration of life. He wanted to invite 25 people, but I knew my grandma was only close to a few of them. And two, I said I'm really going to struggle to make small talk with a bunch of people I don't know who barely even knew my grandma. I said it was even a struggle to talk to his date this morning. He got super angry and said he made plans with her weeks ago before we knew about grandma passing. I said he knew about a week ago that I was coming, so he could have canceled a week ago. To me, that should have been a reason enough not to go on the date when your daughter is visiting from abroad. And I said that we were also told yesterday morning, well before their date, that grandma would die within a day, so that he should have canceled before the date even started. He got really mad and said I don't care about at all about what he has done the past year. Am I the asshole for telling him that he should have canceled his date? Maybe meeting this woman was something to look forward to and an escape, or maybe he didn't have the capacity and this was just a strange way of processing his grief. Jesus.
Fucking hell, Rose. This is an intense one.
Well, she's not an asshole for sure.
100% she's not. I'm at a loss for words. Like, I don't know anybody like that if they were told that their mom had one day to live, one day, who wouldn't drop everything and just spend that time with your parent and their one last day. It's like, you know what? You're going to have plenty of other days to go on dates. Like, this is your last time to spend with someone who spent their life raising you.
Exactly. And it sounds like they had a good enough relationship.
Yeah.
He was obviously like, and again, it probably is some kind of trauma response or grief.
He probably didn't want to deal with it. And he probably was like, I'm just going to be like.
That's insane.
I know. But that's.
Everyone deals with grief differently. But at the same time, it's like, this is the last day.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so weird. And also, yeah, your daughter is visiting. Your daughter came to the country to spend the time with the grandma for her last days, and then you can't cancel a date, and you can't spend the time with your daughter, who clearly is also grieving.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's an asshole. I don't want to say an asshole, but kind of an asshole. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think it's like some kind of
trauma response.
Or like, yeah, he's trying to escape.
Yeah.
But it's like literally the worst way to handle the situation.
It'd be crazy to say, oh, Roses.
Someone wrote, not the asshole. It's deeply weird that he continued on a date with his mother dying. Exactly. Then dead. Then his child in town. And it's even weirder that she hung out through all of this. I'd be like, let me make space for your family. Please call me if you need anything. Exactly. Oh, that's also weird. Like, did she not know that, like, his daughter's died?
Like, I would feel so weird. I'm going on a date with this guy, right? He's like, yeah, my mom has 24 hours to live. My daughter's in town. She visits once a year. She lives abroad. I'll be like, this is sounding like it's not a good time for you right now. Let's reschedule.
Exactly. Like, and it sounds like it was like maybe like a first date. Like, it doesn't sound like a serious relationship.
She said it here. There was an edit.
Oh,
there was an edit. My dad was not a full-time caregiver. My grandma lived in assisted living, and my dad went over there in the mornings to check in and get her what she needed. My dad also just met this woman online. It's not a serious relationship.
Yeah, this is very, very strange behavior. Not okay. Yeah, Sounds like your dad has been saying goodbye to your mother for quite some time, being there for her and knowing what she has been going through. Being a caregiver is difficult. He may have simply needed a break. Yeah. And then someone wrote, true, but his daughter was visiting from another country. It is both rude and unloving that he put a bike ride date ahead of being with his daughter. And also the fact that she's not actually a caregiver.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I don't know. It's weird. It's a very strange response, and I would be pissed. Like, I would be, if I came to see my parents and like, you know, I was only visiting for a short period of time and they just like made no time whatsoever. Yeah. I would be like, what the fuck?
It's weird. What's NAH?
NAH?
Oh, wait.
No assholes here.
Oh, no assholes here. Interesting.
It's likely that your dad has been saying goodbye to your grandmother for quite some time, being there for her and knowing that she's been going through this, being a caregiver. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's the one you read.
Not knowing your father's background with your grandmother. I'm going to say NAH. No assholes here. Is it weird to be going on a date when your mother has 24 hours to live? Yes. But as you question in your last paragraph, perhaps this is his way of dealing with the grief or him needing an escape. I would give him the benefit of the doubt here. And as for you, I can understand why you're questioning him going on a date at this point in time. Also, I can understand how you're feeling hurt by it as well. Your feelings are valid. This is why I'm like, I don't know if I want to say he's the asshole, but at the same time, like,
it's just more weird.
I don't know. Like, you got to learn to deal with grief slightly differently. Maybe, I don't know. Fucking hell. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, he's been saying goodbye to his mother for probably some time.
Yeah.
But come on, you can't wait 24 fucking hours?
I know.
To go on the fucking date. Go on the date after.
Exactly.
You can't wait a few days. And your daughter's there. You have kind of a responsibility to your daughter as well to kind of be there for her. I don't know. Kind of weird.
Goddamn. Very strange.
Contribute. We love these ones.
We do. Am I the asshole for wanting my wife to contribute financially? So here's the deal. We're together for almost a decade. Got a great kid too. For all this time, I have been paying for everything. Since she wasn't working after the kid was born, she always insisted as soon as he's in preschool, she'll be looking for work. I don't make a shitload of money, but for the first few years, it worked out. Now everything has gotten more expensive over the years, and I'm at the point where it just doesn't work out anymore. I can't sleep. I struggle with every bill to pay. I feel like I'm going straight into depression. I've always wanted to be there for her, paying gym membership when she said she wants to lose weight, etc. Now our son is in preschool for almost 2 years and she hasn't done shit to support me except the occasional bill paying with money she got from her grandmother or so. Our rent just increased again and I have to pay almost a whole month of rent additionally because we used the heating more often, etc. during the last 12 months, which was basically her too. I can't even remember how often I come home telling her to get dressed rather than trying to burn the house down from heat. Anyway, she saved up for a year to buy a PS5 for herself, which she did. Now she offered to help me with the extra €700 she will most likely ask for her grandma again. Am I the asshole for being completely furious after all this time? She doesn't contribute whatsoever and prioritizes the PS5 over our bills and my well-being.
Oh my God, talk to each other. What is going on here?
I know.
People, sit down and have a conversation.
Exactly. You guys had I don't want to say an agreement, but like she was saying, hey, I want to raise our son. I want to be, you gave her the ability to stay home with your child, which is a really great thing because not everyone can do that. And then now things are getting more expensive. She said that when he was in preschool, she would start looking for work. That hasn't happened. So when that didn't happen, after the first year of preschool, you should have sat down with her and said, hey, we need to talk about this. I'm stressed. The bills are too much. Exactly.
I can't maintain this. We need to have a conversation. We need to discuss how we're going to get the money.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like they even had a conversation.
No.
So... yeah, she hasn't done shit to support me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, have you all sat down, had a conversation?
This is what people have to remember, because obviously we have expectations of one another, right? Mm-hmm. But if we're not communicating and saying what those expectations are, like it's one thing, you guys had this conversation a while ago before your child was born to say, hey, I'm going to get a job when he's in preschool, blah, 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 blah. That hasn't happened. Okay, so that was one expectation. Another one is the fact that, the rent's increasing, all this other stuff, and you want her to help you contribute to this. You need to let her know. She's not going to know, oh, he's getting stressed about this.
Yeah.
He's stressed about the financial situation. And I almost guarantee you, like, well, actually, I can't guarantee you because I know people are, all over the place. But if you sat down with her and said, look, I'm stressed, I'm struggling, this is taking a toll on my mental health. You need to get a job and start helping me pay for things. I think that any reasonable person would be like, okay, that makes sense. Like, I did say I was going to get a job. It wasn't top of mind. I've been busy doing other things, but now I'll go and I'll get a job to help.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Someone wrote, not the asshole. As an avid gamer who has every game console currently on the market, I would never have my wife overwork or make family suffer over any of it. Your son is in preschool, and she said she would go to work when that happens. What did she used to do for work before? OP, you need to put your foot down. She can't keep expecting you and her grandma to always support her, and she gives nothing back. It's like, again, I don't know how much they're communicating.
Exactly. It sounds like they're not communicating properly. He's just kind of like letting it go and internalizing it instead of being like, look, the bills are too expensive. Like, you need to help.
Someone wrote, you're not the asshole here. You had an agreement. She's going back on it, and your family can't afford their bills anymore. What does she say when you've talked to her about this? Again, have you talked about this? She needs to see every single bill and see your bank account and where you're at. She needs to see that there's a problem, and she needs to be a part of the solution. You can't just leave it all up to you. Your partner's here.
Yeah.
And then so he responded, she knows the bills, knows my bank account. To be quite honest, she might be a bit narcissistic and won't see or talk about problems as soon as the conversation might involve her being wrong. I don't know what to do anymore.
But her seeing the bills and seeing his bank account,
it's not enough.
It won't necessarily put two and two together. Like, I could see somebody's bank account, forget the balance the next day, see a bill, forget it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, well, this guy has 1,000 euros. That bill was 700.
Exactly.
That left 300 for groceries. Then the grocery, like, you have to sit down with this person and be like, hey,
this is your wife.
This is, and again, he's not saying that he talked to her about it.
Exactly.
He just said, she knows the bills and she knows my bank account. Have you not talked about it? She just sees them.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. What you need to do is have a family meeting and go through your finances together. Walk her through where your paycheck is going to month by month for the last 6 months, then work together on a solution, which is likely going to be that she needs to also get a job.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone sucks here.
It kind of. Like, he's not really an asshole, but, like, you got to kind of have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's agreeing. He's not the asshole, but you need to... You need to get under grips, Actually, speaking of things going up, I happen to be like filing away some of my papers and stuff, like just the other day, because I was like organizing and stuff. And I know some of my bills, but some of them I just don't pay as much attention to, like my insurance.
Sure.
My insurance is like, oh, whatever. My home insurance, I just pay it, right?
Yeah. It went up.
A lot.
How much?
So I can't remember what it was. Well, I kind of roughly know, but like, and I only have to get like contents insurance because I'm in a condo or whatever. But it was the first year that I had my place. I've been there 3 years. So I just renewed it for the third time, my insurance. First year, it was like $461.
Okay.
Or something like this.
Okay.
Second year, went up to like $670. Okay.
God, I don't even know what the fuck I pay.
And now this year, so that's only in 3 years living in this place. It's now gone up to like almost over $800. And I was like, that's almost doubled in 3 years. Like,
I know, it's ridiculous.
That can't keep happening.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Like, and that's just one of my bills. And I haven't really noticed it until I was actually like filing my paperwork. And then I was like, what the fuck?
Oh God. Yeah.
So I almost want to call them and be like, why
is it going up?
You've doubled my insurance in like 3 years.
Insurance is such a scam.
I know.
I hate it so much.
I also hate it, but I'm like, look, I get things are going up. I get that their costs have probably gone up. I understand a lot of it, but like almost a 50% increase in 3 years is excessive.
Ridiculous.
So I might actually like start looking at another provider or something.
Yeah.
Because that's fucking insane.
Anyway, guys, on that positive note, that brings us to the end of this episode.
Yes.
I really hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the Am I the Assholes? I know you enjoy these. Let us know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know what your thoughts are on this video. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And what else, Daniels?
Also, guys, If you're not already, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. We do exclusive content on there. You get episodes a week earlier than everybody else. It's all ad-free content. And you get access to the huge exclusive library. So there's lots of fun stuff over there, and starts for as little as $3 a month, guys. And helps keep this podcast going.
Yeah. And make sure you check out my trips. Once again, I'm going to Greece.
Yeah.
Bali and Turkey, not exactly in that order, but those trips will be linked below. I will send you the links, Daniel.
Please do.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.